Hey guys, it's Mars here. My lighting is terrible tonight. Let me see. I don't know if I can turn or that's a little bit better. But anyway, happy Saturday. Hope everybody had a great day. I've had an amazing, incredible, wonderful weekend. Um, I invested the majority of today with a room filled with enthusiastic, encouraging, supportive, beautiful women, and it was a carryover from an event that I participated in last night as a lead coach, one of the lead coaches for a group of ladies manifesting their vision, and it was a workshop that a good friend and colleague of mine, Lene Javette, sponsored. And man, y'all know I love getting my cup refilled. So I'm excited. I'm just pumped. And so the whole day has just been absolutely incredible. But I didn't want to not get on here and connect with you guys and share. We're talking about the power of engagement. So first of all, I see a lot of you guys jumping on here live. If you're on live, please share this out. I would much appreciate it. And I think that somebody is going to get a benefit from this message. Hey, Sean. Hey, Gregory. If you happen to be joining in later in the broadcast, you can always share that out later. Or if you're checking in through one of the social media outlets, either my LinkedIn or my YouTube page or my website, I definitely appreciate you guys making that investment in me. And in case you're somebody, hey Lisa, I still need to connect with you. I haven't forgot. I just now literally got back home. Hey Terry. If you haven't followed me before, or you followed me for forever and you just weren't sure what exactly I do, I want to be diligent in making sure that I share that information with you guys. So to that means my name is Marcy Batiste. I have a company called Bankable Success Advisors, which specializes in trauma recovery. On business is disaster recovery, contingency planning, business resumption, and then domestic violence and workplace violence education. And then on the personal side, hey Kiana, on the personal side, it's personal trauma recovery, curing emotional bankruptcy. And so that's what I do. I love what I do on the personal side, especially because in addition to the trauma recovery, a lot of domestic violence education, a lot of motivation and inspiration, which brings me to what I'm excited about. And that is 2018 is going to freaking rock, because I have dedicated this entire year of my life to connecting with and being a part of a transformational experience for 1,000 women. And so I'm excited because, like I said, I just invested all day today and most of the evening last night, well into the late night, with a room full of close to 60 beautiful women. And so anytime I can get myself surrounded by a bunch of women who are like-minded, who are ready for transformation, who are ready for a breakthrough, who are ready for a change, that fills my cup back up. Because if you are a transformational coach, if you're a leader, when you help somebody else get better, you get better, you feel better. And so that's just a way to help me refill my cup. So that's what I did. And then from there, I met with a client, went over some of her goals for 2018. I'm telling you guys, like, as I'm sitting here, I'm listening to these ladies, both at the event and then when I was visiting with my client, and I'm hearing about the exciting stuff that they have going on. I'm just like, this is going to freaking rock. And so it just made me more excited, because for those of you who've been following along for the last couple months, you know that I've been doing various reading challenges. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Thomas. Been doing various reading challenges. And the first month I did 30 books in 30 days. What's going on, Marvin? And the second month I did 30 teachings from my own book called Journey to Find Your Butterfly Potential. But 2018, these 1,000 women, it's time to raise the bar. We're about to take everything and up level it, right? And so I'm excited about raising the bar. But I said to myself, self, you have to raise the bar for yourself too, because in order for you to be able to tell someone else how they need to up level, you need to take everything that you're doing to another level. And so to that end, I said, you know what, how do I up level this reading challenge. And I said, well, let's do 30 books in 30 weeks. And so then this way, what's going on, Clarence? This way it gives me an opportunity then to take a little bit deeper dive, but not linger on certain things. And so what I realized was the 30 books in 30 days, it wasn't quite enough. Like there were some books like we needed to go deeper. And then there were on the 30 teachings from one book was a little bit too much by the time we got to the end of 30 days. And I said, so you know what? It's going to be perfect. And I knew the perfect book to start with. It's called The Power of Full Engagement. Powerhouse book, game-changing book. Read it for the first time about 15 years ago. Picked it up again in 2012 after my domestic violence incident. And what I knew to be true, and the reason why I picked it back up after such a tragic event, or traumatic event, not tragic, traumatic, was because I knew that there were game-changing principles in this book. Game-changing. And that when I was fully engaged, when I embodied the primary principles of this book, everything got exponentially better. And so if I'm going to raise the bar, that means it has to get exponentially better for me and therefore for my clients and for these 1,000 women that we're going to raise the bar with in 2018. So the Power of Full Engagement, we are on day 6 of week 1 of the 30 books in 30 weeks. And so I've been sharing this week that there are 3 core principles to becoming fully engaged. And one is being physically energized. And so we invested some time talking about that. The second principle is to be emotionally connected. And I actually invested 2 days, and it's pretty lengthy videos on talking about the power of emotional connection and the importance of it. Because as a trauma recovery advisor, curing emotional bankruptcy, dealing with those emotional issues, that baggage that we drag behind us, the emotional piece of it was huge for me. It was huge for me for my transformation, and I know it's huge for me for my clients' transformation. So I spent a little bit more time on that. And then today that brings us to our third principle, which is to be spiritually aligned, right? And I know that a lot of times when people hear anything with the word spiritual in it, they automatically tie that to religion or that type of spirituality. So whether it's church or whether it's religious beliefs, whether it's the universe, whatever. And I challenge you to just roll that back just a little bit. Just roll that definition back just a little bit and look at it from a big picture, because we're talking about success. We're talking about goals. We're talking about making 2018 the best year ever. Hey, Paul, I hope you're feeling better. I saw Toy's post. I'm glad to see you on Facebook. That must mean you're doing better. Welcome back. But so I challenge you to roll back what you think about spiritual alignment and look at the word spirituality simply from a definition of a, how do I want to say it? Basically, a connection to a specific set of values, a connection to a defined set of values. And so how do you, what is the controller for that? And I would say, and as they point out in the book, that character is the muscle that exercises your spiritual alignment. And so when you think about character, you think of your ability to remain true to whatever you say your values are. Now, for some people, they may be religious values. Some people, their connected values may just have to do with how you treat people and not have anything to do with religion. And so that's why when I say spiritually aligned, and one of the principles that they talk about in here is really taking a broader look, taking it away from the religious realm. Not to say that religion, that's not part of spirituality, because if that's part of your core beliefs, for me, I'm faith-based, I'm spiritual, but I'm not overly religious. I'm not a theology scholar, and I don't pretend to be. I don't go to church every single week. I don't pretend that I do, but I have my own relationship with my high power, which happens to be God. And so I have spiritual elements that drive my core values. But to be spiritually aligned, it just means are you in alignment with whatever those core values are? And so when you look at it from a broader perspective, such as that, then it's a little easier to say, okay, now I can kind of see how that fits in with me being fully engaged, because I can't be working on my physical energy. I can't be working on my emotional connections and not still be true to my core values, right? And so that connection and how you define, hey Jay, that connection and how you define spiritual is a big game changer for how you are able to embody these principles of full engagement. How do you sustain spiritual energy? So energy, just like the physical energy, just like your emotional energy banks that we talked about the last few days, your spiritual alignment, your spiritual energies also get taxed. So when the world comes for you, you know, and a lot of times we don't draw on that spiritual alignment until it's in the middle of trauma. It's in the middle of a tragedy. When all hell's breaking loose, then that's all of a sudden when we want to either reach out to a religious spirituality or whatever that core values is. All of a sudden now something's been compromised and we need help from a higher power and a bigger picture. Then we want to look for. And I challenge you that you have to exercise spiritual alignment when it doesn't really matter. Just like we were talking about with the emotional stuff. I think it was on yesterday's live when I talked about how you have to exercise managing these reserves, whether it's emotional reserves, your spiritual alignments, when it just doesn't really matter. And so how do you do that? It's all about how you connect to that spirit, whatever that core value is. Because remember, if we're going to define spiritual alignment, we're going to define spiritual as a commitment to a core set of values. Then balancing that is exercising those core values when it doesn't really matter, in situations where it's not that big of a deal. Because what you want is for that character, that muscle, that character muscle that drives your spirituality to be your go-to. It should be like an auto reflex. Like the military goes through training exercises, right? And they want for, in the heat of battle, it should be instantaneous what you need to do. Like it has to be muscle memory. Character is a muscle of your spiritual alignment. And so it should be automatic. It should be an auto response to always revert to whatever that core value is. If it's a religious core value, cool. If it's something else, that's fine too. It's defined by you, but it's what you believe and are committed to living out and walking in and sitting in and standing in and defending every single day, right? So when I think about what's the cost if you're not, well, become complacent, become lazy, you settle for average when you really want more, you do the bare minimum, sometimes you don't even do that, and so that's how you know that something's out of whack. So when we look at these principles, when we're not fully engaged, what is it? Is it my physical energy that's compromised? Is it my emotional bank account that's low? Or am I not spiritually aligned? Am I doing something that violates my core beliefs? And that's huge. I had a therapist one time. I was talking to her about how I felt about a relationship that I was in. And she said, well, why did you engage in that relationship? And I said, oh, because he told me I was pretty, told me everything that my other boyfriend before him didn't tell me. And it just felt really good. And she said, so let me understand this then. So what you're saying is you sold your soul to feed your ego. I was like, damn, like that's kind of harsh. But she was right. And I had to sit in that. And I cried for like 20 or 30 minutes after I had to verbally admit that I had compromised my core values. I was no longer spiritually aligned, and that's why I was making the decisions that I was making. So I hope that makes sense. What are some ways that you can rejuvenate that, regain that sense of spiritual alignment? Rest. Rest, rest, rest. Do things that rejuvenate you, and then do things that restore you. And when I say things that restore you, I shared with you guys at the beginning of this video, I just invested a day and a half in the room full of women, pouring out wisdom and support and, you know, stories and things to motivate and inspire. And in return, they gave me everything they had on an emotional level, on a transparency level, on an authenticity level. They gave it all. They left it all in that room. Hey, Kiana, good. I'm glad that that's vibing with you. They gave it all to me. And you know what? That restored me. And it restored me because I realized, like, when, like, and I had told the other coaches this when, or, you know, before we even started on Friday night. I said, you know, I love stuff like this because I always take away way more than I give. And I left it all in that room. But what I walked out with was a cup full of new love, new appreciation, new respect, new ahas. I work, you know, one of the things we did was a vision board. I did the first vision board. Well, mine's not done yet, but I'm going to finish it, and I'll show you guys it when I get it done. I'm going to try and finish it tomorrow. But that's how you build up that spiritual alignment, and you keep that intact, and you look at your decisions and you say, is this aligned with my core values? What I say I'm committed to, am I really committed to that? And like I said, when I talk spiritual, I'm not talking about religious necessarily, although that can be a component. It could be something as simple as, I'm committed as a core value to investing time with my children. But then every time something else comes up, hey Gerald, hey Dwayne, every time something comes up, you pick something over that time with the kids. Well, either one of two things. One, you're not really committed to it. Or two, if you truly are committed to it and you're compromising, then now you're out of spiritual alignment. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope so. So I wanted to share that with you guys. We got one more day. Tomorrow is the last day in the Power of Full Engagement. I'm going to try and give you guys a recap, a summary. But man, powerful stuff, you guys. Powerful stuff. The Power of Full Engagement. Just, are you all in? Are you all in? You know, 2018, I have a laser coaching program that starts on the 15th. And I've got some ladies that are signed up, and I know they're all in. And so we're going to take deep dives on this stuff. I'm giving y'all the surface stuff, but my ladies that are in Raising the Bar for their 60-day laser coaching, we're going deep. They're going to find their star power. They're going to be fully engaged during this time and beyond, because the one thing that I truly believe in is that you have to remain and be supported. We're all going to make mistakes. Stuff's going to get hard. What's going on, Herb? Long time no see. Stuff's going to get hard. But if you remain fully engaged, physically energized, emotionally connected, and spiritually aligned, the rest comes easy. The rest comes easy. It's work, but it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. It's late. I still got about 5 other things I got to get done tonight. So I appreciate you guys, the ones that joined on with me live. It was a great group tonight. Make sure, like I said, that you share this out. If you didn't catch it, feel free to watch it on the replay, either on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or my website. In the meantime and in between time, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. And thanks for living life on Mars. Talk soon.